Hello, lead physical scientists. Caroline here. Professor Sydney tells me you've been exploring electric circuits in the simulator. Now it's time to take what you've learned and bring it to life. Today we're building a real electric circuit with wires, lights, and all. But here's the twist. Instead of using a battery, we're going to test whether food can supply the energy to power it. Can something like a potato actually power a light or a buzzer? Let's find out. In this video, you will apply your knowledge of electricity to build and test a potato-powered circuit to see how the number of potatoes impacts how the voltage changes. Then you'll analyze the data you collect and summarize how the voltage changed and what that meant for the LED and buzzer. Ready, scientists? To the lab! In this video, I'll walk you through this lab and you'll have a chance to try it out on your own at home as we go. Before you continue, pause here to read over the safety information, materials list, and lab procedure in your interactive lab notes with a parent or guardian. Make sure you have their permission and all the required materials before continuing. Once you've obtained permission and the materials, you're ready to follow along with me. As we work through the lab, feel free to pause the video if you need more time to complete a step, or to rewind the video if you need to see one of the steps again. If you don't have every piece, don't worry. You can still participate by using the measurements shown in the video to complete your data table. Are you ready, scientists? Let's get started. Let's take a moment to organize and prepare all of our materials. Our first material is our potatoes. You will need 3 large potatoes that are about the same size. Next, we'll look at the electrical components we'll use to build our circuit. I'm using materials from a potato battery kit, but you can also use similar items if you don't have this exact kit. You'll need 3 pairs of electrodes, 1 pair for each potato. Electrodes are different types of metal that help convert chemical energy into electrical energy. We'll be using copper and zinc electrodes for our circuit. If you don't have electrodes like these, you can use a penny for the copper electrode and a zinc-coated nail for the zinc electrode. If you're using a penny, you might need to cut a small slit in the potato to help it fit. Make sure an adult helps you with this step. You need 6 wires. Mine are color-coded, red and black, to make it easier to describe what I'm doing, but the color doesn't really matter. To make things easier, see if you can get wires with these clips on the end. If you don't have clips on the end, you'll need some electrical tape to attach your wires. Finally, you'll need a way to test your circuit. We'll use a multimeter, a red LED light, and a buzzer to test our circuit. Not all kits come with the buzzer or the multimeter, so if you get a kit that's missing something, feel free to use the data in the video instead of collecting your own. This tool is called a multimeter. It helps us measure what's happening in a circuit, like how much electric energy is moving through it. We'll use it to see if our potato circuit really produces electricity. The last thing you'll need is a ruler or a tape measure. We'll use it when we put our electrodes in our potato to make sure the electrodes are about the same distance apart. Are you ready? Let's see if a potato can produce enough energy to power a circuit. We've got everything we need. The first step is to prepare our batteries and set up the multimeter. Be careful if you're using electrodes like mine because the corners can be a little sharp. First, insert the copper electrodes into each potato. Next, use your ruler or tape measure to measure 1 inch from the copper electrode and insert the zinc electrode into each potato. Make sure the electrodes don't go all the way through the potato. Set your multimeter to 20V. This will allow you to accurately measure voltages up to 20 volts. If your multimeter is like mine and the probes can be removed, you'll need to plug them in. Plug the black wire into the slot marked COM. Plug the red wire into the slot marked V for voltage. Since multimeters can measure voltage, current, and resistance, there may be other symbols next to the V. Set aside 2 of your potatoes, because our first circuit will be a simple circuit using just 1 potato. I'm using red wires for the copper electrodes and black wires for the zinc electrodes. The color doesn't affect the experiment, but it helps us describe the circuit clearly. Now, attach a red wire to the copper electrode and a black wire to the zinc electrode. If your wires don't have clips, you can tape the exposed end of the wire to the electrode using electrical tape. Let's measure the voltage of our potato using the multimeter. Attach the other end of the red wire to the red probe and the other end of the black wire to the black probe. Looks like my voltage is about 0.89. Record your voltage in the data table. How do you think a potato could produce voltage? Since potatoes are food, they store chemical energy, just like a battery. The copper and zinc electrodes react with the potato to allow that chemical energy to change to electrical energy, which means we should be able to power our light and buzzer with it, if the voltage is high enough. Many flashlights use several LEDs to produce bright light. They usually need 2 or 3 1.5 volt batteries to get enough energy to power them, which is much more than one potato can produce. So, if a flashlight needs that much power, what about our circuit? Let's make a prediction. Do you think 1 potato is going to be enough to light our LED? If not, how many potatoes do you think we'll need? Pause the video and jot down your thoughts. Remove the clips from the probes and set your multimeter aside. Let's test our LED. The LED has 1 wire that is slightly longer than the other. Gently separate the 2 wires on the LED so the wires from the potato don't touch each other. Attach the red wire to the longer lead and the black wire to the shorter lead. Looks like it's not lighting up. 1 potato has less voltage than a standard AA battery, so that's not too surprising. Go ahead and record your results in the table. Before we connect the buzzer, let's make another prediction. Will 1 potato be enough to power the buzzer? Pause the video and jot down your thoughts. Disconnect the LED from the circuit and attach the red wire from the potato to the red wire on the buzzer and the black wire from the potato to the black wire on the buzzer. I don't hear anything. Pause the video and record your observations in the table in your notes. Our LED didn't light up, and our buzzer is not making any noise at all. That tells us our circuit doesn't have enough voltage yet, because the potato isn't producing enough energy to power these components. What could we do to increase the voltage? Let's try adding another potato battery and see if that helps. Let's add another potato to our circuit. This will let us make a series circuit with our potatoes, meaning that the batteries are connected one after another. If you remember from our previous lesson, adding a battery in series with another battery does what for a circuit's voltage? We should see an increase in voltage. What do you think that will mean for the light and the buzzer? Pause the video and make a prediction in your notes. Your potato should still have the red and black wires attached. Grab another potato battery and a black wire. Attach the black wire from the first potato battery to the copper electrode on the second potato battery. Attach the second black wire to the zinc electrode on the second potato battery. Let's test the voltage of the series circuit. Attach the red wire to the red probe and the black wire to the black probe. Looks like my voltage is about 1.69 volts. Record your voltage in the data table. That's about the same voltage as a AA battery that you might use in a remote control or a flashlight. Before we check and see if the LED will light up with two potato batteries in series, pause the video and predict what you think will happen when we connect the LED. Attach the LED like you did before. Connect the red wire to the longer wire on the LED and the black wire to the shorter wire. I still don't see anything. Maybe we need a third potato battery. Let's try the buzzer now. Pause the video and make a prediction. Will the buzzer buzz? If it does, will it be louder or softer than it was with one potato battery? Disconnect the light and connect the buzzer like you did before. Connect the red wire from the potato to the red wire on the buzzer, and connect the black wire from the potato to the black wire on the buzzer. Listen, that's louder than last time. Sounds like more voltage means a louder sound from our buzzer. Before we add one more battery to our circuit, let's pause and write down our observations in our notes. Finally, let's grab the last potato battery and one more black wire. Disconnect the buzzer if you haven't already. Attach the black wire from the second battery to the copper electrode on the third potato battery, and attach the last black wire to the zinc electrode on the third potato battery. Now, let's see what the voltage of the circuit is with 3 potato batteries. Attach the red wire to the red probe and the black wire to the black probe. Looks like my voltage is about 2.44 volts. Record your voltage in the data table. 2.44 volts is close to the amount of energy small electronics need to work. Many toys, remote controls, and small flashlights use about 3 volts from 2 AA batteries. What do you think is going to happen when we connect the LED to our circuit? What about the buzzer? Now that we have 3 batteries, pause the video and jot down your predictions for both. First up is the light. Attach the red wire to the longer wire on the LED and attach the black wire to the shorter wire on the LED. At last! Light! Looks like 3 potato batteries is just what we need. Next up is the buzzer. Attach the red wire from the potato battery to the red wire on the buzzer and the black wire from the potato battery to the black wire on the buzzer. Wow, that's even louder than before. Make sure to record the results in the table in your notes. Now that our circuit is complete, let's look at what our results tell us. Now that we've finished with our lab, let's talk about what happened. What changed in our circuit each time we added a potato battery? How did that change affect the LED and the buzzer in the circuit? Pause the video and answer these questions. Adding potato batteries increased the voltage in our circuit. This increase in voltage made the light shine brighter and the buzzer buzz louder with each added battery. As we went through the lab today, you got a chance to sharpen your experimental science skills by building your own potato-powered circuit. Now it's time to analyze and summarize the results of your experiment by completing the rest of the activities for this lesson. If you struggled to get the results you were expecting from the experiment, feel free to try again. Science is often a matter of trial and error. Even professional scientists sometimes have to try an experiment many times before perfecting the procedure. I'm Caroline, and remember, lead physical scientists, the world is full of mysteries. So stay curious, keep exploring, and unlock the wonders around you. See you next time at the Institute of Physical Phenomena. Hey, hey.